This interior is pretty gross. Hello, I'm Brian Esser from How To Automotive. In today's video, I'm excited because I get to do something for my sister. So this car right here used to belong to my sister. A couple of years ago, she donated it to her teenage son. He drove it for a few years and he's run it down to the ground as a teenager would do. And now she called me up and said, hey, my car's not running so good. And her son is no longer using this car. It's been sitting for a few months. She wanted to know if I could take a look at it and see if it's worth putting back on the road. So I grabbed it, checked it out. It's got a few problems, but it's definitely worth rehabbing and definitely worth keeping on the road. So in this video, I'm going to do a few things to this vehicle, get it back up to par, and then try to get it back to my sister. So check this out and come with me for the journey. So one of the problems I discovered with this vehicle is it had an intermittent misfire at around freeway speeds. It would just kind of hit and stumble. So what I found out on this vehicle is it originally had an oil leak on the valve cover, and they had the valve cover repaired, but that saturated the ignition coil, and that saturation has caused this ignition coil on number 3 cylinder to intermittently drop out and fail. So we're going to be replacing one coil and one spark plug on it. All the spark plugs were pretty new on it, except for the one that had the additional wear on cylinder number 3. So we're going to swap that out right now. So here's the ignition coil. You can see how it was previously soaked in oil, and it's been wiped off and cleaned off and all that, since. The oil leak has been repaired, but it has broken down the ignition coil. So we're going to swap this out with a new one. We're going to also change out the spark plug. All right, so we got the ignition coil and spark plug installed. Now I got the next challenge. This vehicle is on EE. It's been sitting forever, and I'm going to attempt to drive it to the gas station without it running out of gas, and put a little bit of gas in it, and then also verify that the ignition misfire is gone. So come with me and we'll see if we can get to the gas station. All right, as you can see, it is on EE. We're on the way to the gas station. One of the problems that you can see is the steering wheel is off center to the left here. We'll address that here in a little bit. Right now, I just got to get to that gas station. So far, no misfire. It would intermittently misfire when it was cold, and also when you get upwards on higher speeds. So we're gonna find out. I'm up here in Washington State, and the roads around here are amazing. The trees and all the views and stuff, really cool. All right, we made it to the gas station. So far, no misfires on the vehicle, and we got a little bit of gas in the vehicle. All right, guys, so we successfully fixed the misfire. So now there's a few other things that this vehicle needs. It needs these rear tires. The power steering's return hose is leaking a little bit. We need to fix that. And I also suspect a broken motor mount on it. So we're going to diagnose that and dig into that a little bit here. But meanwhile, while I order parts and get parts coming for the vehicle, the interior of this vehicle is nasty, so we're going to clean that up next. So I'm going to spend a little time on it, clean out the interior, wipe it down, clean it up, and get it ready for my... So the good news is this Honda Element does not have carpet. It has rubber mats, so we can get this all vacuumed out, and we can scrub this really good and get all the dirt and grime out of there. I think I'm going to lose the seat cushions. The seats seem to be in pretty good condition. Bit of an odor in here, so hopefully all that cleaning and stuff and we'll get that smell out as well. But I'm pretty confident we can get this pretty clean and dialed in. With a little bit of elbow grease, it's coming out pretty good. Like I said, it has rubber mats, so it makes it really easy to clean it out, so that's awesome. All right, so one of the things we need to do to this vehicle is get some tires on the rears back here. They are like slicks, and I cannot have my sister driving around with slick tires, so we're going to bust these off, throw them in the back of the truck, and run them down to the tire store and get a couple tires for it. The front tires are in decent shape. They're not perfect, but they're more than, there's 65–70% left life on them. So we're going to bust these off and get down to the tire store. And as you can see, they are slick as can be. All right, we got the tires loaded up. We're heading down to a local tire store. I like to support local businesses. Race on a little train right here. Pretty cool. Love the Pacific Northwest. Pulling into the tire store now. Hopefully they got what we need. All right, guys, we just got back from the tire store. We picked up some brand new tires for my sister's Honda Element. I could not have her driving on slick tires, so I wanted to let you guys know that by following, watching, and subscribing to this video will definitely help offset the cost of this. I'm paying for this all out of pocket. You know, this is just out of the kindness of my heart for my sister. Now I got the tires for, now we're gonna fix a power steering leak on it, get that fixed up. And now to torque the wheels. All right, as you can see right down there, the return line for the pressure for the power steering is leaking. So I went and bought a new line for it, and it just goes from there up to the rack and pinion over here. So we're going to take that hose off and swap it out. So one of the easiest ways to get to the power steering hoses on this Honda Element is to take the wheel off on the passenger front here, and then you can see the leakage right there where it's been leaking, and you can see the hose right there. So we're going to take that hose clamp off, and then through this big hole right here, you can see the line going up right here and going inward. So we'll work through that big hole instead of trying to work from up top up here. All right, even though the leak was small right there, you can see the mess it created. Right now I got the hose off, and that's why it's leaking out right there. And we got to drain it, but you can see where it's leaking directly onto. It's leaking directly onto a bushing. So if we were to let this go, this bushing would eventually break down and go bad. Then you would have a bad lower control arm. So that's why you want to fix these as soon as you can. So right now we're going to drain this out, and then we'll get some brake clean, and we'll clean this up, and then we'll also do a little pressure washing after we're done, and get all the oil off of it so it doesn't break the bushing down any further. All right, so you can see I got the hose off. I got bulk hose. I didn't buy the exact molded hose. This is a pretty straightforward deal, so I felt like bulk hose will work just fine. So my hose is slightly longer than this one here. We'll put it on at the bottom here, and then we'll feed it up the rack, crossed, and then over to its home over here, and then we'll kind of measure it out and then cut it to length, and then we'll mount all the mounting hardware. So I had some clips back here. You can see them back here. We'll re-secure them back there in those clips, and re-secure the line, and then we'll top off the power steering fluid, and then we'll clean everything up. All right, we got the power steering hose mounted. We got it filled up with Honda approved power steering fluid. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get down in here, and we're just gonna clean this all up real quick. I'm just gonna use a little bit of gunk brake clean and to give everything a spray down and get all the power steering fluid that ran off on it off, and then I'll take it down to get it pressure washed, and I'll pressure wash this. So one of the things I noticed when I was test driving this vehicle, as I felt a kind of a funky little clunk, I feel like there's a broken engine mount on it. So I'm going to do what they call a power brake test and see if the engine mounts are broken. So I'm going to use the tripod. I'll set the tripod up here with the camera facing the engine. I'll go inside the vehicle, put it in gear, and kind of hold my foot on the brake really tight and kind of floor it and let off, and floor it and let off. And that'll see if the engine is jumping around. And then the camera will catch it on the tripod, and now I'll be able to see exactly what is going on. So I got the engine fired off. I'm going to throw this thing in gear. Got my foot on the brake, my left foot on the brake, and my right foot on the throttle. I'm going to give it a little bit of, and I can hear a clunk noise when I do that too. So I'm pretty sure there's an engine brake mount broken. So we're also going to do it in reverse and see if it flops the opposite direction, because it may have more than one mount broken. So this is reverse. It doesn't seem to be jerking around too much. Here's forward. It feels like it's on the driver's side here. So we're going to check the camera and see what that confirms. All right, the video confirms that there is definitely a broken engine mount. What I need to confirm now is there two broken engine mounts or just one? So I know for sure the one right here in front by the radiator is kind of a torque mount. It's definitely broken. I went under there and I can see it. It's broken for sure. But what I want to know is the transmission mount on the driver's side, is it also broken too, where they're both flexing and both moving? So for sure the torque mount is going to get replaced. The second one, I'm going to do a little bit more testing and try to get the camera directly on the mount, and then do the same test again and see if I can watch it. If it's not broken, I'm going to leave it alone and just replace the torque mount. If they're both broken, I'm going to replace them both. So I'm going to do a little bit more testing. All right, to gain better access at it, I decided to take the airbox assembly out. So I took the lid off, a couple screws around the perimeter, Just held on with a clamp right here, took that off, pulled this back, pulled the air filter out. Now we're going to take the bottom portion of the air box out. There's 3 mounting bolts on this. I've already taken 1, 2, and I'm on the 3rd one here. And once I get this out of the way, then I have full access to see the motor mount when we do the test. This is a MAP sensor vehicle, so it doesn't have the mass airflow sensor to mess with on this one here, so we don't have to worry about it. We can start this with the air cleaner assembly off if we want to. We're just going to do it for a short period of time, so it's not going to hurt the engine because we're in a controlled environment where the dust is really low, so we're not worried about that. So I'm going to get the air box out. This air box assembly out here. Okay, now we can see our transmission mount right here, plain as day, nothing obstructing it. So I'm going to do that same test here, and we're going to see if that mount is moving around as well. All right, we got it set up. We're doing a little test here. I'm hoping it's just a torque mount. But that's pretty violent, so it seems like more like the transmission mount. All right, so you can see by that footage, the transmission mount is also broken on this hot rod. So I'm gonna head down to the parts store and get a transmission mount and a torque mount for it, and we're gonna get these put in. All right, so we picked up some parts for my sister's car. Now we're gonna throw them in. I got the torque mount and the main transmission mount. We're gonna throw those in, and then we're gonna see about getting this car back to her. All right, guys, to swap out a mount like this, you need to support the engine transmission. So I got the floor jack underneath, and then we're gonna jack the engine up a little bit, support it, and then we'll take the bolts out that hold the mounts in. So I got a piece of wood that's mounted right across the top of the transmission, and then I got the jack right here in the center. So it's in the center of the transmission, and the wood has helped spreading out the load. So we're just lifting this up just a little bit, just like that. And that's taking the load off the mount, and now we're gonna unbolt it, and then that'll hold it still. So the engine will be, the transmission will stay in this exact position. If we need to, we can jack it up or lower it down to help line everything up. All right, so we're gonna crack this bolt free first. Then there's the bolt here where you can see my ratchet extension. I was just doing a little test fit here. And then there's one more right here, straight down, that you can see from over here. And once we get those 4 bolts out, and then there's one on the top right here. So once we get those 4 bolts out, then the mount will just come right out, and then we'll slip the new one in and then reverse the process and tighten everything up. All right, I got the main motor mount bolt out, and as you can see, it's making contact with the battery tray here. So we got a couple choices. We can take the battery out, take the battery tray out, get the bolt out, or what I'm gonna do is do a workaround. So I'm gonna loosen up the bolt here, here, and here. Get all 3 of those loosened up. And then I'm going to see if I can lower the engine down by lowering the jack stand, or not the jack stand, the floor jack down. And then what that will do is lower the whole engine transmission down just enough where I can slip this bolt underneath. And then that should get it out. Then I can swap out my mount, put my mount in, slide the bolts back through in, get this started, and then jack the engine back up, and then start the bolts here and here. So these are 17mm bolts here. I'm using a long extension, an impact gun here. So I got the bolt out. As you can see, they're not very long, they're short. And the same thing right here, I'll get in here, use my flashlight here, get this next one out, the next one out. And then the top mount right here, I'll get out with just a ratchet right from the top. I got all 3 of the bolts out. So now I'm going to lower the transmission down. So now I'm going to lower the transmission down just a hair, really slow. I can see it lowering down. Now tighten it back up and see if I can get this bolt to go underneath, which I cannot. It is pinching it, dang it. All right, with the impact gun here, I went ahead and loosened up the 3 mounts for the main bracket that's mounted onto the top of the transmission. Now I got a bunch of slack in play, and now I'm going to work this out from underneath this bolt here, tilt it up like this. You know what? We'll just do that. We'll take this mount off completely. And we'll just lift it up and then take it out and then reassemble it and then slide it back down. So I ended up just taking all 3 of the bolts out and just lift it off. So now that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reassemble this portion of it in, leave everything kind of loose so it flips and moves around. Then I'll reassemble it in there, start these bolts, and I'll start all of the bolts, you know, that way I have play. And then once they're all started, then I'll line these witness marks back up and I'll tighten them down to those witness marks, and then just tighten these 4 bolts down all together and we'll be done. So I got the mount out and you can see how bad it was broken. It's completely severed here. Blah, 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 blah. All right guys, so I got the engine or the transmission jacked up a little bit. Got all these bolts started here, and then I got this bolt started. The one here, I got started by picking the jack up and floating this and moving it around left to right. Now I'm going to start the bolts down here, which are way down in these crevices. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take my bolt, piece of paper, put it in the socket so the bolt doesn't fall off. Now I could feed this down here like this and start this, and then also to help line everything up, I'll move the mount left, right, up, down. If I need to, I can jack the engine up or lower the engine down to line everything up. All right, guys, I got the motor mount in, or the transmission mount, I should say, in, but it took me an hour-and-a-half additional time because I lost the last nut. I was putting the last nut on, and I dropped it, and it fell inside the frame down here. I had to take a bunch of stuff apart to even try to find it. Finally found that sucker, and man, the last bolt is in, but it took me an additional hour-and-a-half to do it because I lost that one nut on the left-hand side here. Where's it back there in the corner? Lost that sucker, and it fell in there, and it took me like an hour-and-a-half to find that thing. Pretty critical bolt, so I couldn't let it go, so I had to find it. All right, I'm going to slap the airbox assembly back in here, put that back together, and now we're going to tackle the torque mount that's down here. And now we're going to replace this torque mount that's right down underneath the intake. So I can reach around the top here and get to the top bolt that mounts here. And then from underneath we get the side bolt here, right here, and then the bottom bolt right back side here. And then you can get to the bolt here and here. And like I said, you can get to the top bolt up from up top. So I'm going to loosen the top bolt up first, take that out. Then I'll put my floor jack under here and jack up the transmission, kind of support it a little bit, and then I'll take out the 2 bolts. And then once that's out, I'll be able to slip this mount out, and then we'll slip the new one in and reverse tighten these 2 top bolts first, start this bolt and float it. So kind of just float it all around. All right, guys, so I got the floor jack here on the transmission. I didn't put the wood on this one because I got it on the very edge here. It's not really doing anything but just lifting the transmission up like maybe a 1/4 inch or lowering it a 1/4 inch. So there's not a lot of pressure on it. All the pressure is actually on the engine mount. So I went ahead and bolted this hot rod here, and then just slips in like this. So I unbolted it. I got it out. Now we're going to swap out the new one. As you can see right there, the mount is broken. All right, guys, so we just rehabbed my sister's car. I'm super pumped that you guys came along for the journey. This is going to be really beneficial to my sister. She's going to be really thankful. Now I just got to work on getting it back to her. So there might be a future video of us going on a road trip or her coming here. That I don't know yet, but just in case, you can follow me on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all those pages at How To Automotive. And I'll most likely be updating that there. So be sure to follow along, subscribe to the channel, and follow all the social medias. I'm Brian from How To Automotive. I really like to thank you guys for hanging out with me, and see you on the next one.